Hey, SuppzGuru fans, Darren Marcus here with you this week. The topic this week is going to be how to select the right protein. So probably one of the most common questions I get asked all the time is, what is the right protein for me? And really, it's really going to be dependent on what your goals are. So I want to first talk about kind of the different types of proteins, and then we can go into which ones best fit for what your goals are. So a lot of times you're going to see probably the most popular out there right now is a whey protein. And what people are starting to learn is there's different types of whey protein. You've got what's called whey protein concentrate, whey protein isolate. Probably the most common that you'll see that's sold in the stores and what's considered a commodity protein in the 5-pound proteins is going to be whey protein concentrate. And what whey protein concentrate is, it actually comes from milk protein. There's two different parts of milk protein. There's the casein and there's whey. And then the whey is split away from that. 20 years ago, they used to take whey protein and they'd throw it away, and they found that it's actually a great protein. Now, in the manufacturing process, what they do with whey protein is they run it through what they call a resin bed. And the more that they refine that protein, the higher grade protein it becomes, or what they call a whey isolate. So what they do is they take that whey protein, they blow it across this resin bed, and it takes out all the sugars and fats. And the more times they do that, the finer protein it becomes. So a whey concentrate, if you're somebody who has problems with milk protein, a little bit of some of the digestion issues with protein, then a whey protein concentrate would probably not be the way that you want to go. You want to go more with a whey isolate. It's going to contain a lot less lactose, if any, lower sugar, lower fat, and a higher percentage of protein in that product. If you're okay with you don't really have any issues with digestion, you're looking for something that is, middle of the day that you can take with your lunch or whatever, or, a protein snack throughout the day. Whey protein concentrate is probably going to be a little bit better choice. It's a little slower digesting protein, and so it helps raise the nitrogen levels in the muscle slower and keep them elevated for a longer period of time. Whereas a whey isolate is faster digesting. So a lot of times you're going to see what's recommended is a whey isolate is to be used after the workout, because it's faster digesting into the body. But the one thing you've got to be really careful with that a lot of people don't tell you about on whey isolates, especially if you're on a low-carb diet, is that whey isolate can actually be converted and used as sugar. So if you're on a super low-carb diet, sometimes whey isolate is not the best protein to be using, because your body will end up using that as energy versus what it should be used for, which is recovery. The other thing that you see out there quite a bit that's used is a casein protein. And again, I mentioned that casein comes from whey. And I'm sorry, it comes from milk, and it's a slower digesting protein. So a lot of times you're going to see casein used for a nighttime protein right before you go to bed, because it's going to digest slower in the body. It's going to release those amino acids slower and keep the nitrogen levels elevated throughout the nighttime to help your body recover and help prevent from breaking muscle down. Now, the one thing that we're starting to see come back quite a bit is meal replacement proteins. And a lot of people sometimes will think that, oh, whey concentrate is a great meal replacement, but it's really not, because there's no carbs, there's really not a lot of fats in it. A meal replacement is a more balanced protein. So what they do is they actually add carbohydrates to it. Typically what you're going to see is about 40 grams of protein, 20 to 25 grams of carbohydrates. Usually it has a vitamin, multi-mineral mix in there as well. And usually you'll see them in single packs. And it's going to be a more filling protein. Usually it's also a blend. So you'll see whey protein concentrate, whey isolate, calcium caseinate, egg protein, all of those different types of proteins in there, which one makes it a little bit more filling, slower digesting. So it's better to use throughout the day if you're using it in between your morning, let's say your breakfast and your lunch. Meal replacement is a much better way to go. And then a lot of times, you get people that are, hey, I'm vegan or I'm a vegetarian and I want to stay completely away from any type of animal-based products. And so you're seeing what's really becoming popular now are a lot of the vegan proteins, everything from brown rice protein to, you name it, that's out there, plant-based proteins that are becoming really popular. The biggest challenge is going to be with those, if you haven't tried them before, is usually flavoring. There's very few companies out there yet that have perfected the flavoring when it comes to a vegan protein. And for men, you've also got to be careful, because there's also what's in there called phytoestrogens. And sometimes that can affect men's testosterone levels if you're using a plant-based protein. So make sure it's something that you talk with your doctor about, and if it's the right protein for you when selecting a vegan protein. But if you have more questions, please feel free to message me on Facebook. You could post it on our Facebook page on SuppzGuru.com, and we look forward to hearing some more questions for you. Thanks.